Hello, friends. Today we're embarking on the incredible journey of sugar, that familiar flavor we never leave out of our kitchens, our teas, and our desserts. These white crystals we use every day are actually the product of a series of magical transformations taking place in gigantic factories. Have you ever wondered, how does it go from beet or sugarcane to this? Then buckle up, because we're going to explore the entire adventure from raw material to the mouth of the package, step by step. I'm sure you'll say, wow, it goes through so many processes as you watch. The story of raw materials, the sweet gift of the soil and the sun. The magic actually begins entirely in nature. There are two major sources of sugar in the world, sugar beet and sugarcane. In Turkey, we are mostly beet producers. You know those huge tubers under the ground that resemble turnips? That's where the secret to sweetness lies. By absorbing the sun in the soil, the beet accumulates an enormous amount of sugar in its roots. Sugarcane, on the other hand, is a product of more tropical climates, resembling long reeds, and the core of its stalk is a veritable storehouse of sugar. Let's put images of these two plants in vast fields on the screen. Lush, endless. Watching it, one wonders, will these plants really turn into the sugar we know? The main production journey. The great transformation of the beet. Okay, let's say harvest time has arrived. Giant machines are pulling up the beets from the field. And that's where the adventure begins in the factory. We can beautifully illustrate this part with time-lapse footage. 1. The rush of cleaning and slicing. First, the incoming beets are cleaned of soil. They are washed barrel after barrel, practically having a spa day. After they are spotlessly clean, it's time to slice them thinly. The aim here is to increase the surface area where the sugar can transfer to the water. In other words, to extract the sugar, they expose it as much as possible. Let's put on the screen an image of a giant slicing machine cutting the beets into matchstick-thin slices. 2. The sugar's journey in water diffusion. The slices go into a tank filled with hot water, called a giant diffuser. This is, in my opinion, one of the most important parts. Think of it this way. Just as sugar dissolves when you add it to hot tea, the sugar in the beet slices passes into the hot water. But the slices sacrifice themselves, releasing the sugar into the water. The result is a sugar-rich, but cloudy, brownish water. We call this raw syrup. 3. Purification and clarification. This syrup we've obtained isn't yet drinkable. It contains other substances from the beets. This is where chemistry comes into play. Milk lime is added to this syrup. This process precipitates the unwanted substances, not the sugar. Then, carbon dioxide gas is introduced to remove the excess lime. It's almost a purification ritual. Finally, a clear, golden syrup emerges. It would be great to show these stages with animation. 4. Evaporation and crystallization. The moment the magic happens. Now it's time to thicken this syrup. In giant vacuum kettles, water is evaporated under low pressure. There's a point here that personally impressed me. The water evaporates at a much lower temperature than its normal boiling point. This prevents the sugar from burning, and its color and taste remain unchanged. Eventually, such a thick syrup is obtained that it becomes a paste-like mixture called masout. And then comes the big moment. This mixture is spun in giant centrifuges. That is, in large rotating drums. During this rotation, the crystalline sugar particles stick to the walls, while the remaining sugary syrup molasses separates. I could ask the viewer, in your opinion, at this stage, is the most important thing the rotation speed or the temperature? Wow. Details. After all these processes, the sugar we obtain is not yet the whiteness that reaches our tables. It's brown and raw. This is called raw sugar. This is how it's mostly traded worldwide. In refineries, it is melted, purified, recrystallized, and bleached once again. So a sugar crystal makes this journey perhaps twice. Now consider this. In the past, these processes were done manually and took days. Now, they are completed in hours with massive computerized systems. If we make a historical connection, the discovery of sugar is a product that changed trade routes, even the history of slavery. Incredible, isn't it? The quality control adventure. Every crystal is examined. Of course, it's not all about the machine. Samples are taken at every stage of production. In laboratories, the purity, moisture content, color, and crystal size of the sugar are meticulously measured. They even taste it. The secret to its durability shelf life and that standard taste lies in these tests. An entire batch must be of the same quality without the slightest deviation. Otherwise, the sugar in your tea would taste different one day than the next. Where does modern technology come in? Everything is now managed by automation. The entire process is monitored from massive control rooms. Robotic arms fill and seal hundreds of packages per minute on huge packaging lines. Lasers read barcodes on packages, weigh them, and even packages that don't meet the standard weight are rejected. Compared to traditional methods, human labor is used more for inspection, maintenance, and quality control. This both increases efficiency and keeps hygiene at the highest level. Closing and call to action. So, friends, that humble beet, emerging from the soil, goes through such a massive industrial process to become the sugar in our kitchens. Each crystal is actually a joint work of engineering, chemistry, and modern technology. You might think, is all this processing worth it? But ultimately, the standard, reliable, and clean product we receive is a gift of these meticulous processes. So, in your opinion, which was the most difficult or most delicate stage of this journey? The crystallization moment or the purification processes? I'm definitely curious to hear your opinion in the comments. This kind of how-to? If you want us to continue our journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video. Take care.